A teacher gave what the mainstream media is calling a deeply inappropriate assignment for 5 years old. Parents were upset, and now the teacher is being under investigation. But I want to see if I can complete the assignment. I mean, this is, wow. So, Fallout Shelter. Oh, this is great. An unknown enemy has launched a nuclear strike on Long Island. Well, who could that have been, huh? Unknown enemy. I mean, I guess we have to look at the prime suspect, right? Like, who does have nukes? Russia? China? Texas? Because of advanced warning technology, you are aware that you have 20 minutes to get yourself into a fallout shelter located in your neighborhood. When you arrive, 10 other people wanting to get in as well greet you. The shelter has enough supplies for you and 6 other people to survive the 3 months that you must remain inside. Your group must decide unanimously who will be brought in and who will be left out. Okay, in this situation, everyone dies. Like, there is no fucking way that you can have a unanimous decision in a life and death situation when people's skin is on the line. I mean, if it was like a majority decision, maybe. But like, unanimously, get the fuck out. Like, which person is going to advocate that, yeah, you know what, I'm going to stay out. You guys go in. So, which are the 10 people? Apparently, a 16-year-old pregnant girl. I do not know why there's a no behind it, but apparently this is how it's presented to us. Police officer with multiple charges of brutality pending against him. He has his gun. Well, okay, but like, now the conversation is over. The police officer not only gets in, but he decides who's going to go in with him. Like, if he has a weapon, and no one else has a weapon, then the police officer doesn't give a shit about our unanimous decision. He goes in, period. Like, who's going to stop him? He's got a gun. You need to take into account the situation, right? Like, when you try to phrase a moral dilemma, it needs to be at least somewhat convincing. Jesus, police officer with a gun. Derp. Do I have a gun? I mean, if I have a gun, then maybe, you know, we can have a conversation. But like, if only he has the gun, there is no conversation. Same way if I have the gun, there's also no conversation. A 38-year-old retired prostitute. A 75-year-old priest. A 35-year-old sterile female. Why do they mention these things, though? Like, why do they feel the need to like, mention... How would you even know? Like, does this person, like, introduces herself and is like, I am a 35-year-old female doctor, but I also happen to be sterile. Unless she's, like, shot in the ovaries or something in the previous battle, in the previous war, then there's no way of knowing. 6 and 7, a husband and a wife. They refuse to be separated. He is a lawyer, she is an alcoholic. But, like, is this her profession? Like, alcoholism is a trait, right? Like, it's a negative trait. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the person doesn't know what, like, doesn't have any other skill, right? Like, she could be an architect for all we know, and also be an alcoholic. Like, 30-year-old homosexual architect. Do people even use the word homosexual? Like, I have the impression that this teacher didn't come up with this herself. Like, they probably took it from a textbook or someplace. 50-year-old musician, previously addicted to cocaine. 20-year-old drifter with no apparent skills. Alright, so, how do we decide? I mean, I guess, like, this is an ethical question, right? So, like, if it's an ethical question, and you want to get an A+, like, right, it's not a life and death situation. It's the type of thing that you would expect people to do, even though they're never going to do it. You draw lots, right? Like, you draw straws. In reality, no one is going to do that because, obviously, if you're in a position like this, where you get to decide who goes in and who doesn't, and you say, we're going to draw straws, then the possibility of you ending up with the short straw becomes quite high, right? Like before, you are guaranteed a place. After, however, you're not. Now, if you really want to be like, oh my god, you know, worshipped, get a standing ovation from the classroom, you say that you are not going to go in and you give your place to someone else. I mean, that is the social justice-y thing to do. It only matters, like, you need to understand social justice, right? Like, what you say is what matters, not what you do. So, like, as long as you claim you will do it, and when you're in the actual situation you don't, that's fine, right? Just claim your... I would unironically get the police officer. Like, hands down. And this shocked many left-leaning people on Twitter. They thought that I was trolling. No, I would unironically get the police officer. First of all, he's being charged of brutality and they're pending. So he may not have done it, right? Like, and if it was something really bad, probably he would have been locked up and the bail would be set too high, right? So he's just accused, but that's not the thing. Even if he was, let's say, guilty of police brutality, take into account that when the 3 months are out and the shelter opens, there's going to be chaos outside. Like, you may have other criminals, you may have other people that want your stuff. So having a police officer with a gun to be able to defend you, and you have him as a friend, is definitely something worth considering. And not only that, it's just 3 months, right? Like, who cares if he has a gun? Like you can cohabitate with another person for 3 months. It's not that long of a time. And not to mention, you know, if it's really bad outside, like there's like a nuclear attack, and you know, you're in the bunker, most people are going to be thinking like about their families. They're going to be thinking about what they're going to do when they come out. 3 months, I don't think it's that enough time in order to cause like major frictions in the group. And just because he has a gun, like, so fucking what? You know, this is a police officer, not an insane person. Like, it doesn't mean that he's going to go Terminator on everyone. So yeah, like, I would definitely vote for the police officer. 16-year-old pregnant girl is definitely a must, because you're taking 2 people, right? Like, rather than 1. Now, the other ones are interesting, right? So the 30-year-old homosexual architect, I'll probably take him. He's young, got a lot to live for. Unfortunately, the 75-year-old priest, you know, it is what it is. But this is what they do at hospital as well. Like, if they only have 1 ambulance, and you have, like, let's say, a 18-year-old that went in a car crash, and you have a 75-year-old with a heart attack, and you only have 1 ambulance, like, they will usually go for the younger person. It's unspoken, it's not part of protocol, but this is, like, what the doctors will do. So, I'm sorry for the 17-year-old priest. The female doctor, also very important. Right? I mean, if anyone gets sick inside, if anyone requires medical assistance, same thing again, like when the bunker doors open, it's good to actually have a doctor on your team. So, let's see, police officer, 16-year-old, the doctor, the architect. I would also take the drifter, right? Like, even if he has no apparent skills, neither do I, so... It's good, like, in the group to have, like, an underdog, so that you do not become the underdog, because if you become the underdog, that's problematic, right? So it's always better to have, like, to advocate for someone that's a little bit less on the skill ladder than you are. How many people do we get to have? 6. Alright, so unfortunately we can't take the family. Damn, I would have taken the family, to be honest. Right, so I'm sorry for the architect. I can't take the architect anymore. I will take the La Familia. I don't care if she's an alcoholic. Like, so what? She's going to be difficult, though. Like, if the bunker doesn't have any booze, an alcoholic with no booze for 3 months is going to be difficult. But you know, she's a lady. I'm pretty sure, like, all these men are going to know how to behave around the lady, even if she's under distress. Usually it doesn't take that long in order for a person to go through alcoholic withdrawal. It's going to be like a nasty first 2 weeks, but after that, she may even stop drinking altogether if, like, for 3 months she doesn't have to touch alcohol. I solved the problem. Did I do well? Am I good? Do I get an A+? I don't know. This is a 5th grader question. Maybe difficult. I understand they're studying difficult things at schools now, so it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think, though. What would your list be? And I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.